That is so going in.
Where's my fucking hand? This is
Blink,
annoying.
blink, blink.
Welcome back to season 3 of Repressed Humor Issues. I'm Ryan,
I'm Dan.
and we're here to fuck shit up this season.
Yeah. So right now, there's one of two things happening. This seems exactly the way that it was before, or you're actually seeing us because you're on Spotify.
Yeah, I love that Spotify added that feature. That's not a plug, but I do like that.
Well, Joe Rogan's been doing it for a while, so it's just a matter of time until we copied him.
Fine. I
We'll call this
prefer.
the repressed humor experience from now on. How about that?
Ooh, no.
So
No.
a lot's happened since the last time we talked to everybody.
Yeah, I don't even know. When's the last time we talked to everyone? Like a month and a
Some
half ago? Month?
Something like that. Yeah, it was after the election. It was after
I think it was
January
after.
6th,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it was before the inauguration. So
And
that's
here
how
we are.
the world operates at this point, is we time ourselves based off of those events.
Or Valentine's Day being tomorrow.
Or that, which
Will you,
will be a couple of days ago by the time this actually gets aired.
will you be mine?
No,
Hmm.
no. My wife will not allow
Ugh, I talked to her. She's fine with
that. Oh, shall I call her and ask?
it. Yeah.
Let's
No.
let's 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 just hold on. I'm gonna text her.
You're gonna
Just
text her in
say
this moment. This is what we're doing.
Ryan wants me to be his Valentine. What should I say? Now realize she doesn't just sit there watching her phone, so it'll take a little bit for her to respond. But when we get the response, I will read it out loud.
We'll come back
While
to
we're
it.
doing that, you have to tell everybody why I'm calling it Fishbone Thursday.
It's so stupid. That just happened. Uh, why I shouldn't tell you anything.
Nothing at all, ever.
We made salmon tonight, and my husband got a small fish bone caught in his throat, and that's why we were delayed starting this because he was trying to fish it out of his throat.
Oh, I can't respond to this without getting the hatred of every single woman that ever listens to this. My wife did respond. She said, "You might as well, since you didn't bother to ask me."
Oh,
I bet you're supposed to do it the day of. That was the idea of the Valentine.
oh. Well,
Yes.
wait,
So now you got me in trouble.
wait, but how? Now I'm confused. Wait. We got to stop for a second. How are you in trouble? The day's not over. It's not
Oh, I
even
know, but I
Valentine's
thought
Day.
you're supposed to ask on Valentine's Day. That was part of Valentine's Day, not before.
You mean prior to your relationship?
No, am I supposed to ask her to be my Valentine on Valentine's Day
No,
itself?
no, day before. Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
okay. Well, then I still got hours.
Yeah.
I can
But
pull this out. I can make this work.
I mean, pulling it out's a different connotation here.
Hey, it just may work in this household. You don't know. I'm not going to do it on camera. It's just not going to happen.
Thank
I mean,
God.
your husband did pull a bone out of his throat earlier this evening, so
Just full
this
of
is
dick jokes, aren't we?
this is why I will only eat fish sticks, because I never want to have to pull that bone from my throat.
And you just said fish sticks.
Yes,
Fish
but
sticks.
fish sticks. Yes.
Fish sticks.
Okay, and
There's have you not seen that South Park episode? I think it's with
no.
Kanye West where he's trying to say fish sticks, but it sounds like he's saying fish dicks.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to eat any fish sticks because I wasn't aware they were all penisy that way, anyways.
They are phallic.
The entire fish itself is phallic. You think
No,
that's what a well-shaped dick looks like?
the fish sticks are.
They're just rectangles.
What kind of fish sticks are you eating? That's not a stick.
Yes, it is. The fish stick. It's just a
Yeah.
rectangle. It's a thin rectangle. It's three-dimensional, so I guess it's a cuboid of some sort. But
I think it's more of a tubular shape.
no. See, you got to learn the difference between fish sticks and mozzarella sticks.
What kind of Well, I'll be honest. I haven't had a fish stick since I don't. It's been a long time. Normally, I just get fish and chips if it's fried.
Okay, but fish and chips looks different than fish sticks. Fish sticks are literally rectangular sticks.
I don't know. Now I got to go. What's a brand?
McCain.
McCain. Okay, I'll go to the grocery store and just look.
You're not going to find that. That's a Canadian brand.
Why,
Look it up online.
why are you going to
It's
give me a Canadian brand? What's one that you can find in America?
I don't know. I haven't eaten fish sticks probably since I was in Canada.
There you go. Uh,
Speaking of this, can you please explain why I've got up on my board right now RuPaul beef stew with homos?
well, that's your take on that. That's not fair.
You got to explain it because I only had a little bit of room up on my board for this. And you got to explain it for people that are wondering. I keep a board of topics now
All right.
so that
So
we have stuff to talk
the
about.
new season of RuPaul starts in January, and that's like the new queens that are not seasoned. They're just trying to get their fame, snatch the crown, if you will. And every Friday is when it airs, so we have a potluck. And it happens to be a house full of primarily gay men, a couple lesbians, and maybe one straight woman. Uh, and the most recent episode, we had a beef stew. That's all.
But I mean, you could have extended it out a little bit beyond that because there's a full text exchange. Do I have to go back and read the text exchange now?
Mm,
See, this is how Ryan
this
and
is
I
why
live our
I
life.
was trying to, I was trying to avoid the text.
See, this is how Ryan and I live our life is just texting each other brutal crap over and over and over again.
Yeah, there's some stupid shit that we text each other. My God,
Yeah, somewhere in here, God, we text a lot.
we did text a lot.
Well,
Christ.
okay. So you say, I'm at this gay RuPaul potluck doing gay television watching. It's gay. I say, there's a straight RuPaul potluck. You say, it's super gay. I said, did you expect minor amounts of gayness at a RuPaul potluck? You say sometimes, but not now. And then my wife wants to know what gay television watching is. And then you say it got gayer, a room full of 25 homosexuals watching RuPaul eating beef stew with 15 to 20 bottles of wine. And I said, does the beef stew look tasty? Because I don't mind watching a good beef stew. And you said it was amazing. And I said, now, see, now I want beef stew. Damn you. That's our average conversation on text, just so
We did
everybody's.
have a lot of homos that night. That was a busy
See,
night.
that's what I'm saying. You downplayed this so much. It's been on my board for a while to talk about this, and you downplayed it like it wasn't anything.
Because it
And
was like, wait, that had to be
that's like
what
3 weeks ago.
January 24th. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We've
dude,
been to Sweden since then.
we happened to Sweden, but that was a lot of beef stew too. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it now. Like to feed all of us, and we all had like healthy portions. Wow, okay. Kudos to the chef.
I still am trying to figure out why you would ever expect any straightness at a RuPaul watching party.
I mean, the baseboards are straight, I guess.
That's where you're going to go with that.
That's all I got.
Architecture. That's where you're going with.
Straight lines. No,
I apologize for this horrid episode of Repressed Humor Issues.
you apologize for every one of our episodes.
Yeah, well, somebody has to.
I will say, okay, so to switch gears, we did go to Sweden. Yes.
Yes.
I told an uncomfortable amount of people about our podcast,
Okay.
including our chief marketing officer.
I told him to.
Oh, God.
You got to realize.
Uh,
So we talked about this like last season, probably a while ago. It might have even been at the beginning of the season. But I opened up a can of worms with the dev department
well, I
where
opened it with our CEO.
okay, no, you didn't talk about what they brought back up again when I was there. That I tried to.
No. Well,
I
but that's bullshit because and you were in that room at the brewery with him at the table when people are asking me, "Hey, is your dog named Blue Waffles?"
I was trying to shut that down. I had been trying to shut that down for 2 days because I knew it was going to get to the CEO.
You know the woman that was sitting catty corner to me with the glasses and long black hair, and she will not stop or let that go because she thinks it's remarkably hilarious.
Is she listening to our podcast?
Yes.
Then she deserves every single moment of what she gets.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But I mean,
I,
that was just one of the oddities that happened. Me having to explain why somebody leaned over our chief marketing officer's shoulder and said, Dan likes blueberry waffles, and then walks away. And all I could do was say, I hate you as she walked away.
I this is not a contest, but I think I have it worse.
Okay.
In the lobby of the hotel, before the evening thing that we did on Thursday, had someone, and we can talk about it off air, shout to me, "Go get 'em, Waffle Queen." You
Okay.
tell
We
me
have
how
a new
that came
nickname
out
for
of,
you. You're not baby girl anymore. I don't have to yell Yolanda. We just have to talk about the waffle queen.
but how they put all that together, not a clue.
So realize when the person that came to you to tell you that they were talking about it again at my table, making it seem like it was me that was doing it.
Yep.
And I sent you a text that said that person
Uh,
lies, 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 lies.
that you did.
I was trying so hard to shut that conversation track
Yeah, because you
down
had the
because
CEO like right across from you.
oh, but right at the end of the table. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just horrendous. And I couldn't get them to stop.
Well,
And
I
then, of
mean,
course, I'm with the CEO for dinner the next night, and those two people are directly across the table from me again.
you brought it upon yourself. That's all I can say.
I brought it upon myself almost a year ago. I thought it could die.
Oh, because that was
Some
back
things
in
deserve to die.
because
Like,
the initial was back in April, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So realize Space Dock Fondue Party, I'm not advocating for it anymore. Okay. I'm
Mm-mm.
not trying to gross people out with it. I'm trying to make it die. Let's just let it die.
Think
But I did get a new thing up on Urban Dictionary.
what?
I got to go look up what I put now because I forget. But there was something that you and I talked about that I managed to get up on Urban Dictionary. Now I'm sad that it's not on my board.
Man, I
Give
have
me a
so
couple
many things
seconds
to
here.
talk about. I got to
Entertain.
write this other thing down that hold on. I'm just gonna write baby, and we're gonna leave it at that.
Is that your new thing for Waffle Queen?
Uh-uh.
No. Okay.
That's something else that happened today that I just remembered.
Okay. Well, go ahead with it, and I'll get back to this in a couple seconds.
Well, I'm going to go down a different path first. So, while in Sweden, I was amongst friends and our CEO, who's a friend, I would say. He's a nice person. Um, and someone brought up my skincare regimen.
Yes. Yes.
And it wasn't you, to be fair. It
No,
wasn't
it
you.
wasn't.
But you
Although I
were
did
within
tell them
earshot.
about your eyebrows disappearing on Teams every once in a while.
You did, yes. Thank you for that so much. Doing me all the favors. But somebody brought it up, and our CEO was like, "Oh, what do you do? Like, I don't have a routine." And I'm like how much do you want to know? All of it. I don't have a routine. So I like walked him through like step by step. And he's like, "What do you use for shampoo and conditioner?" I'm like, Like, I'm I don't mind giving advice or help or anything like that, but it's like you don't think of your CEO as somebody that would reach out to you about this or entertain the conversation. So fast forward, he's got the list of all the products I use and the hair. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, um,
yeah.
the conversation at some point during Sweden went to Cheetos and how much somebody could actually love Cheetos. And so that brought up the
Wait, I
term.
thought
I'm
this
not
was
sure.
Pringles, not Cheetos. I thought it was
No,
Pringles.
this is Cheetos. This is
Oh,
Cheetos. Okay, you weren't there for that conversation because you decided to abandon me for the 25th floor. Remember?
it wa-
But
I should
yes,
have.
you
I should have.
abandoned me. You did not ask me if I wanted to come to the 25th floor.
I was invited for margaritas.
Okay, this may not show on screen. I'm going to try to see if it will. No, it's going to blur out, but
Yeah.
the word is Cheeto baiting. And the definition is when your love for porn and your love for Cheetos mix. And the
Jesus.
example in a sentence, seeing as I'm using Ryan on all my definitions now, is I caught Ryan Cheeto baiting again, and then he made some ranch dressing.
Ranch?
Ranch instead of ranch, yes.
Oh, you're
Specifically
awful.
ranch dressing.
And this was accepted?
Yes, yes, it is now. If you look up Cheeto dash baiting on Urban Dictionary, you get to see a little Ryanism in there.
Ah,
Yep.
you're the gift
I,
that keeps on giving.
so it's nothing compared to face cheese, though. So
Or throat sweat. That one's bad.
yeah, but face cheese actually just evolved out of Sweden. I haven't tried putting it up online because it doesn't make sense in
Yeah.
that context. But just so everybody's aware, I joined a band while I was in Sweden. Okay, we were going to call ourselves Pentavomit because basically everybody that ever listened to us would vomit. We were going to be a one-hit wonder band. We were going to just do a parody of Men Without Hats, yeah, safety dance.
Yeah.
We don't know what it was yet, but that's what we were going to do. And did you know we actually had to look this up? It's Men Without Hats, not Men with Hats.
Without?
Without. Everybody I ask has that exact same thing. It's Men Without Hats.
I thought it was with hats.
No, it's without hats.
Oh, did you know that?
Yeah, but I had to look it up to make sure because I all of a sudden doubted in my brain that it was Men Without Hats. I thought it has to be Men with Hats. That's the only thing that makes sense.
You know,
Anyways,
the sheer
so
amount of people that also in Sweden that were upset that I didn't bring any glitter jackets, including our CEO.
I may have started the rumor that you were going
Oh,
to.
I was like, I mean, honestly, because you didn't say anything to me about it, I honestly thought it was just that many people remembered it from our event back in April. And I'm like, God, everyone remembers this. I didn't wear it to the stage or anything like that.
Yep. I started a rumor that you had three or four of them in your bag, and we're just trying to figure out which one to bring.
I told you how many I actually possess that are different colors, right?
Yeah, you possess way too many for any rational human.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
I found four more new colors that I probably should get.
But I thought you had 12.
That's counting my husband's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
They're
specifically
in
have
your house, they count.
I specifically have seven that fit me.
Okay. Well, so seeing as you decided to distract from the story of Face Chief, the only instruments were going to be the recorder. That was it. Okay.
I was
We
how I did hear this conversation.
Yes, because the stupidity of it has to spread. But sadly, I have to tell you, over the days that we were in Sweden with my bandmates, Yoko and I decided that they were holding back my crappy music with their crappy music. And so Face Cheese broke up.
So sorry. Are you
So I'm
okay?
going solo. I am going to again be the semi-professional parody songwriter that I am, but it will be solo. It will not be with anybody else. I will not join another band unless there's a funny reason to.
You know, I think that's a good path for you. I really do. I think it's the right path. I think you're meant to be a solo artist.
You
Um,
just love hearing my voice. You can admit it.
yeah, yeah, it's intoxicating.
That's wonderful.
It's like Britney Spears.
My voice is like Britney Spears.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. For those of you on Apple, you're not seeing the look of utter confusion that Ryan had on his face as he was trying to figure a way to dig himself out of the hole he just dug.
You know, speaking of song parodies, while in Sweden, um, the topic of mukbang came up.
What?
Yeah,
What are you banging now?
mukbang,
What is
mukbang, mukbang, which
Oh,
is
bang, not bang. Okay, well, so
bang. Yeah,
first of
yeah,
all,
yeah.
that's important to be able to enunciate.
Mukbang.
It still
It's
sounds
like
like you're saying bang, just so you're aware.
muck. It
Sounds
is
like whatever
bang.
a mock
Muck
is, you're banging it. That's really what it
muck
sounds like.
mukbang
Mukbang?
mukbang mukbang.
Okay, you said it like 30 times,
Yeah,
and
but
28 of those times it sounded like mukbang.
it is mukbang.
With a B?
Mukbang. Here, look at the chat.
Oh, God.
In
So,
in the in the thing.
in the thing, I'm looking at the thing.
In the recording thing.
I don't see it. There's,
Oh.
there's, anyways, just go on with what mukbang is before people start getting upset.
Ah, it's basically ASMR for people eating like fried foods, and there's competitions behind it and stuff like that. And it's originated in South Korea. But
Okay.
yeah, it's basically like varieties of food from like pizza to noodles to fried chicken, and you're eating it in front of camera. Anyway, this came up in a very large dev call and product call, and I was like, "Yeah, I read a parody song about mukbang a while ago," and then that evolved. It surfaced in Sweden. They're like, "Can you sing your mukbang parody song?" I'm like,
You suddenly have to make it up on the fly, don't you?
"No, no."
Oh,
I actually I had to. I was like, I got to get the lyrics pulled up, but I had done it to the tune of Adele's "Hello." I will
okay.
not redo it here, but I did redo it for a very small subset of people.
So all of that so you could disappoint all of us.
You don't want to hear me sing it.
No, I don't, but the embarrassment of you singing it to the tens of people that listen to this podcast would be worth it.
Um,
By the way, speaking of that, have you noticed that in certain meetings, Yolanda is coming up more often, as is Clown College Boy, as is although potentially inbred?
that hasn't come up.
Ah, the third one?
Yo- Yolanda, yeah, third one hasn't come up. Yolanda and Clown College Boy have both come up,
Yes.
especially Yolanda. Now, I have to ask though, did you actually tell the story?
Yes. And for those of you that don't know the story, just go back last season and you'll hear it a couple of times. But it's
Yeah,
just an embarrassment for Ryan that it's gotten to the point that everybody at our work knows that story. I told our chief legal counsel that story.
I know. He was one of the ones that talked to me about it. He came up with like a legal joke about it, like, yeah, you might be in breach of. I don't even know. It was pretty witty and creative on the fly for him to come up with that. And I was like, really? And he's like, no. And I was like,
No.
oh.
Yeah. I saw a different side of him once he got like 17 glasses of wine into him on that Thursday night.
I think he needed that though. He'd had a pretty long couple quarters in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
But I do want to advertise that my sister's dog is up for the world's best dog award. Um, Tonight is the she's a finalist in the top 5 of all dogs, and she's currently in first.
yes, I've seen you whoring yourself out trying to get her votes.
Look, look, it's worth like 10 grand for my sister if she gets
Eh,
it. So it's like
How many votes
And
is she up by?
it doesn't actually show you the votes. It just says if they're in first or not.
Okay.
And so my brother and I have been actively like we contribute to it because you can get a free vote for per day, but then you can also donate. And if you donate, it actually helps like an animal veterinary clinic that helps just simply rescue dogs. So it actually does go to a good cause as well.
So, knowing this isn't going to go out tonight because I still have to do the minor amount of
Mm.
editing and figure out how to do the video piece of this, is there a point in you giving any sort of indication on where they could vote, just in case becomes a tie and it goes to a runoff?
Oh, it is. It's America's Fave Pet.com. Vote for Gertie.
There you go. So, all you people that realize that you're going there and it's already too late, we're not sorry. It was a shameless plug to begin with. So,
But she does love getting her booty slapped. I can't even make that up.
okay.
Like,
So, 90-degree pivot here.
what? Talking about slapping dog butts.
Yes. Considering we already talked about removing bones from somebody's throat,
Yeah.
I
Dog
mean,
butts is a natural progression.
yeah, that's where I expect to go on every single episode this season.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about Lady Gaga's new single?
Uh I wouldn't know a Lady Gaga song if somebody came and shoved it down my throat. What's her
What?
new song?
Abracadabra.
Okay, but that's a Steve Miller song from the 80s.
Yeah, but it doesn't sound like that.
Okay.
Oh, it's amazing. It's like a return to Gaga form. The monsters are back.
I was about to say, are you a little monster again?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was so. I mean, she put out this is her technically third single from the album already. It comes out March 7th, and she's already won a Grammy from the album.
More shameless plugs.
Eh, Willing for my queen.
Your waffle queen.
Don't ruin it.
It's my job
I
to ruin things. That's what we do here.
I will say that like, do you have Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that?
I do because I post all the stuff that we come up with to
But
those two.
do you actively use it for yourself?
No,
Oh, okay. So Spotify does the Spotify Wrapped every year, and I end up being one of the top 1 or 0.5% listeners of Lady Gaga every year for the past 4 years.
my wife had the exact same thing. She was in the top 0.5% for Taylor Swift.
See, I mean, that's impressive
Yeah.
considering how many listeners there are. I'm not patting myself on the back. Could also be deemed as depressing. Like I need to get a different rotation of music going in there.
Or maybe you just need a life.
Every 5 seconds, I get the chorus to Abracadabra stuck in my head all this week. Randomly, I'll just pick Abracadabra, Abracadabra,
See, now I'm going to have Steve Miller's version of that stuck in my head forever.
Abracadabra.
Yeah, he sang it better.
I wanna reach out and grab ya.
Yeah, please
He
don't.
did. By the
Honestly,
way,
isn't that in today's society, isn't that just he's sexually abusing somebody? I want to reach out and grab you.
oh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Oh no.
A lot of things like that just don't age well anymore.
Did you see the Mountain Dew commercial from the Super Bowl, by the way?
I watched exactly zero of anything from the Super Bowl.
Well, it might be worth YouTubing. There's a Mountain Dew ad with Seal as a seal.
Oh, I actually saw an image of that on Blue Sky, and that was disturbing.
It was so strange. It was out there. But
I,
then, for whatever reason, on my TikTok feed today, the making of that came around with Seal doing an interview about how excited he was to be a SEAL with an iconic brand like Mountain Dew.
he did not really look like a seal. He looked like a brown blob more than
It
anything.
was so strange. It was so strange.
So I did have somebody on my Facebook say that the worst ad was the Tubi skin hat.
Oh my god, I fucking hated that.
I don't know what that is. I have no
Just
clue.
you should go see that. That's fucking weird. Cowboy skin hat. Fucking weird.
Okay.
Like they
Well,
had wizard hats that were skin hats and oh,
see, I had spent the entire 2 days before in airports and airplanes. So I had very little interest to watch the Super Bowl, anyways, because the Eagles and Kansas City just not my teams. And I mean, with five refs playing on the Chiefs team, I expected them to blow
they
out the
they
Eagles.
played against them in that game.
Yeah.
My
But
God, they called everything.
I sat on the couch that day and ended my life. I
How do
don't
you
think.
mean?
Well, so anybody who knows what a TENS unit is, it's like a tiny electrical neural stimulation device. It just sends tiny electric shocks through your body that stimulate your muscles to get rid of pain and all that sort of stuff. Well, I found out that there is a setting on there that when you mine has like 20 different things that it can do, and you can set the intensity. And this particular one had a low intensity start, and then suddenly it went to a high intensity. So while it's on low intensity, I'm jacking it up trying to get as high of so I can actually feel it because it's that low intensity. And then the high intensity hits. And when the high intensity hits, my life ended. I started walking towards the light. But the problem was I had a portable defibrillator on me, which means that, of course, every single time I died, the stupid thing brought me back to life. And I died like 400 times in about a minute and a half until I could rip that thing off. So
Sounds like a good orgasm.
the apologies will start early this season. I apologize for Ryan's lack of any sensibility and for offending everybody out there with his stupidity.
Ah.
Aw, yeah. No denial there. Just a, oh, love me. I'm the waffle queen.
I am not the waffle queen. I'm the antithesis of waffle queenage.
Oh, no, 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 no. That is your nickname. Whatever meeting we're in next, that's coming up.
As long as it's not with executives, please.
Well, I could. Oh, I'm not on the right computer. I said I could look on our calendar and find out if there is an executive meeting that we're going to be in together, and then
No,
just talk about how Dairy Queen's closing up here and the Waffle Queen is opening up for business.
can't.
You look like that, and people on Apple again. You're not going to see what he looks like because Apple sucks because they won't do video. But Ryan had that look like, yeah, okay, whatever.
But I do want to broach. You did have some travel woes coming
Oh,
back.
yeah,
Actually, on the
you
way
saw that
there,
on
on the
my.
way there too, as well.
Well, so to be able to get there on budget or slightly over, I had to make some travel arrangements that weren't optimal. And by not optimal, I mean sucked ass.
How
Um,
many how many connections did you have?
so I started at Minneapolis. I left at like 9 o'clock in the morning, which means
Hmm.
I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or I left at 8, somewhere in around there. And I got to Atlanta at about 10:30 local time. My flight out was not until 8 p.m. because cheapest flight, that was the way to do it, was 8.5 hours in the airport. So I lost my entire Sunday to the Atlanta airport essentially, and then flew to Amsterdam, where in Amsterdam they have something that they call the City Hopper through KLM, which is
Hmm.
basically a coffin with the smallest overhead bins you've ever seen. Because my bag that fits in every overhead bin it's ever been into, they told me it was too big to fit in the overhead bin. Okay,
They're
like
right.
literally called me out because I got it stuffed in there, and they had to play Jenga with about five other bags trying to get somebody's jacket stuffed in there, and pulled my bag out, couldn't get it back in because there wasn't enough room, and then chastised me, even though it fit in when I put it in. But anyways, the I got to take a tour of the Amsterdam airport because
It's
they
quite
couldn't get
nice.
they couldn't get the jet to my gate. So they put us on a bus, but the bus was heading the other way and had to do a figure eight a couple of times to actually be able to get us there. And on top of that, we get there and for 10 minutes they leave us stranded on the bus because they're not ready for the plane, even though we're already, half an hour late. Um, so that was okay, not too bad. It gets worse on the way home. We can admit, you know the story. It gets worse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had a hellacious time getting back.
Yeah, because it wasn't so bad out of the Copenhagen to Amsterdam to Atlanta track. But again, I had 6.5 hours layover in the Atlanta airport. So, and if you've ever been to the international terminal, there is nothing there to do. Nothing
When
what.
you don't have lounge access, right?
No, and I did the through Delta, I did the reclaim my status thing, and they're not letting me reclaim my status, even though 2 days before I took off is when they took away my status.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I could have bought access to the lounges with the points that I have built up on Delta, but you have to have status to be able to do
Yeah,
that. So I
yeah.
missed it. Anyways, after 6.5 hours in Atlanta, fly to Minneapolis. They land, it's just starting to snow, and they pull the plane up. It's 12:30 in the morning, and they turn off the plane, and then they say, "Okay, we're just waiting for them to connect the jet bridge." And then they find out we're about 10 feet away from the longest distance that the jet bridge can actually extend, and they have to move the airplane 10 feet forward. They're not gonna start the airplane to do that. No, that's a no-no. Why would they do that? Why would they let the airplane's own power move it forward? So we had to wait because it's 12:30 in the morning and nobody is in the airport. They have to wait for the one guy that can operate the tug to actually pull us that 10 feet
God.
to actually show up at the gate. So that was a half an hour. So now all of a sudden we're to 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, now realize I had to be somewhere for meeting my daughter for a karate thing she had going on at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm already losing time to be able to sleep. I get in my car, I get about 5 miles north of the airport, and it starts turning into a blizzard. And I mean, there was two sets of tracks for tires. There was
You said it was
one.
almost a whiteout, right?
Well, what happened was out 5 miles north, it was down to one lane. 10 miles north, there was nothing. You couldn't tell where the road was. You just drove in the middle and hoped you didn't end up hitting the rumble strips at 90 degrees and ending up in the ditch. It was funny because I had two police cars. There was obviously an accident ahead of me, way ahead. Two police cars go bombing by me at like 35 miles an hour.
Bombing by you at
Yes.
35. That says a lot.
Yeah, they were just going as fast as they possibly could, which tells you how slow I was going. So,
I mean,
I
yeah, you
ended
were
up
going
getting
10,
I
15, probably.
sorry, what?
You're
I
probably
was
going
doing
like
20.
15. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so I ended up getting home at 2:15 in the morning. Now realize, my morning started at 4 o'clock in the morning, Sweden time, Central European Standard Time, and I'm getting home at after 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So that
No
means it was
thanks.
29 hours just straight dedicated to travel.
That's dedication, my friend. That's some dedication.
Yeah, never doing that again.
No, no,
No.
just shell out the extra $300 or whatever the difference was.
Well, so one of the things that I did that actually worked against me was I had a service credit that was about to expire. So on my trip
Uh,
from Minneapolis to Atlanta, I upgraded myself to first class. What I really should have done was just upgraded myself to a later flight.
yes. Oh my
But
God.
stupid me decided, hey, first class, why not?
On the shortest leg.
On the shortest, well, no, the shortest leg is Amsterdam to
Oh,
Copenhagen.
yeah, that was, yeah, 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 fair. But
But
there's no upgrade on those city hoppers anyway.
no, it's all the same seats in there. It looks like the tiniest 737 you've ever seen. I don't even
But
know
they
what that aircraft
but they
was.
still serve you what, cheese sandwiches?
Oh yeah, you get that cheese sandwich on wheat bread. And I was so hungry by that point. I ate that. I hate wheat bread with a passion. I ate that
You were like,
sandwich.
"Whatever."
I ate that sandwich like it just washed up on shore at a desert island I had been on for 3 years. Ate the shit out of that thing.
Oh my god. I mean, my travel was simple until it wasn't.
Okay, explain.
My well, flight out there was easy. I thankfully got upgraded to premium economy, not first class, but the 45-degree pitch seats, and I didn't have anyone next to me. So great trip out there. The way back, I get upgraded again. Thankful for the upgrade. It's awesome. Uh, but I get a window seat, which I hate. I hate window seats. It's just me, whatever. So I asked the woman that's next to me before we board, "Hey, do you want the window seat? I prefer the aisle." And she's like, "No, I also prefer the aisle." I was like, "Okay, whatever." Let's get on the plane. And we sit down and they close the door and we're getting ready to push back. And I like, well, shit, the two seats to the right of us are wide open. There's no one there. I was like, "Hey, do you mind moving over there and I'll take your aisle seat?" And she goes, "No, I don't want to move." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, can you get up then? I'll take it then." She goes, "No, no, no. I don't want to move." I'm like, "But I just want to go take the empty seat that's right there." And I'm can you please just let me out real quick? That's all. Real quick. No. I'll get up when we're off the ground and like the seatbelt sign comes off. I'm like, and for whatever reason, I didn't step over her. I sat there and
Now, what did
endured.
I say you should have done?
I should have rubbed my ass right in her face.
No, I said you should have put your knees in her crotch as you were going across.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I said.
somebody else told me to put my ass in her face.
Yes. But
Everyone had the same reaction. Like, why didn't you just like aggressively step past her, more or less?
but the important part here that Ryan's skipping over is the fact that in the terminal at the gate, he went around looking for the person that was sitting next to him. He had to go find that person. He was that guy that's going around saying, "Hey, are you going to be my seat buddy?" to everybody in that gate.
I am more subtle than that, thank you. And I just creepily look over their shoulders until I find the seat number that's correct.
See, I had a similar experience, but different. My flight between Atlanta and Amsterdam, I had two older people in the two seats
Oh
next to me.
yeah,
So I'm up
you had an
against the
early flight
window,
too.
and I had two older people that the minute the plane took off, they fell asleep. Okay, and they're not just a little bit older; they're in their late 70s, early 80s. So I
So
figure
envious.
I figured they're just going to sleep for a little bit and then they'll be up and putzing around and doing their normal thing. No, they slept through the entire flight until we landed. You
And what's
realize what
that?
that meant was
8 hours?
it was an 8 hour and 5 minute flight. That means I had to hold my bladder for 8 hours and 5 minutes because
And
I
you
could
gotta
not get up because it's a pain just to get up when you're too deep, when you're three deep in that situation, anyways. But with two old people that are sleeping, there was no way I could just go and put my hand on that woman's shoulder next to me and violently shake her to tell her I have to piss. Now, first of all, she was French, so she probably wouldn't have understood unless I translated it into French because I don't know what piss is in French. I know what
but you do
shit
know
is.
enough French to get by, don't you?
I don't know what piss is though, so I can't shake her violently and say, "Hey, I got to piss."
What about miterate?
Is that what piss is in French?
I don't know, but it sounds French.
I don't know. Je
Ugh.
vais dans la merde. I mean, I could have said some things, but
I was like, you
anyways,
know more than I do.
I, I literally spent 8 hours waiting for my bladder to explode inside of me, and that was I went to the bathrooms when I got to the gate when we landed, and that was the longest piss that I ever took. And Oh, it's peace. You had to go.
Peace.
Yeah, I could hear it, but I could hear it, but you didn't share the screen, so I wasn't ready for it.
Oh, it was on my cell phone.
But I could tell
Peace.
you that that was also one of those times, and I've told you before, I'm a mass producer where I actually had to sit up a little bit on the toilet to
I
finish
don't.
off what was coming
This
out.
is not what I wanted to know. I don't want this as any kind of reminder
I'm just
ever.
telling you, that
You had
happens.
you had one episode where you got to talk about that 2 seasons ago.
And I brought it back up because it was pertinent to my travel woes.
It's not.
But it was.
It's not. You could have just said I had to go to the bathroom really badly. That would have been accepted.
Okay, Waffle Queen.
Not full dumper.
I mean, if that was the worst thing we said in an episode where we talked for about 5 minutes about blue waffles and Space Dock Fondue Party again,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that wasn't the worst thing you've ever heard. Now, it is possibly one of the worst images you're going to have of me now that you can see me on video, but at least I
I
wasn't
just
making my poo face.
I just
'Cause
see
that
you
would just
like it's rising and you it just makes you spiral like reverse soft serve.
Did you ever see that episode of South Park
Which one?
with Tom Cruise and uh
The fudge packing one?
the one where they were rating the size of poo in Currix, and Tom
Did they
Cruise
do a
turned out to be
third
an
episode with
android.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, he ended up being some sort of android that was supposed to make the biggest turds, and then I think it's Stan's dad just
Yeah.
makes like 142 Keurig poo.
Does does or do they make Tom Cruise gay in that episode as well?
No,
Because in the first two, they made him a fudge packer
yeah,
and like literally packing fudge, and then the other one, they had him every scene he would pop into, he would come out of a closet.
yeah. Well, this one was all about him being the biggest shitter on the planet.
I'm trying to think if that's not gay, I guess, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it whistles every time he goes by a strong wind, I mean,
So- I have friends like that. Anyway, um,
oh God, I worry I have friends like that now.
yeah, you're like, somebody leave the door open? No, it's just my ass.
And now that we've derailed enough,
uh, the bags under my eyes are significant. I started this day at 6 a.m. Anyway, but I think I'll save. I'm gonna save a story for next time.
yeah,
I'm gonna.
please do. I think we're ending on the highest high we could possibly have here.
It's a soft serve pile of shit. Yes.
Ah,
Oh, well, I want to thank everyone for joining us for episode 1 of season 3 of Repressed Humor Issues. We're very happy to be back, and you can reach out to us, get any thoughts, questions, ideas out to us, repressedhumorissues@gmail.com, and we will reply only to the good ones that we perceive to be great.
remember, we're just two guys with two mics with one excuse not to pay attention to our spouses.
That's true. It's reality.
I had to get the tagline in there because you forgot to do it at the beginning.
I, I think I like it at the end better. Good job. Good work. Anyway, and here's our moment of Zen.
And I gotta be
Wow.
honest, I don't know what he's talking about, unless he was just joking with me. You're really good looking. So you played in a movie called The Hunger Games.
Yeah, isn't that your life story?
You shouldn't say that. That's off-putting.
You should be off-putting. Because you're fat. You shouldn't eat any more pudding.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, now I feel like having pudding.
I haven't had pudding in eons.
Oh, we have to hide it because my stepson will eat it all. Yeah,
I
I don't get to it first.
tapioca.
Oh God, no! Little balls of hell in there. I don't know. My wife likes tapioca too. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Oh, I don't know. I like the vanilla tapioca. I think it's a vanilla.
It doesn't matter. It has little balls of shit in it.
Wait, but you don't like boba?
No,
Like in the tea? Have you
no.
had that?
I don't drink tea, first of all. Second of all, I'm not drinking something that has little balls floating around in it.
Oh, they're
It's not my
amazing. It's
thing.
amazing.
You know my texture issues.
Yeah, and they're black too.
Not all of them.
No, yeah. Well, some are pearls. Some are not balls.
Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
makes a difference.
Sometimes yeah, because sometimes they're filled with like a juice, like a mango juice or something
Oh,
like that.
okay. Well, I will never know that because I will never, ever, ever drink that shit.
Oh man, I love it. Gosh, it's so good. Oh,
Okay.
now I
Just
want one.
you're looking lovingly with your hands underneath your chin like that, just so you're aware. Like,
it's like a comfort thing. That and sugarcane juice. Oh my god, I love sugarcane juice.